For a woman to settle for a man to date, she may set standards and have expectations. But they say having expectations is disastrous. What happens if the people that we fall in love with do not meet our expectations? Well, today on Love Unlocked Unscripted, we are looking at dating expectations. My name is Agosa Kunedo Owusu. I will be right back. Welcome back. This is Love Unlocked Unscripted. My name is Agosa Kunedo Owusu. So today, to help me do the discussion, I have Biasa Oma. Yeah, welcome. This is your first time on
Yeah,
the
this is my
set.
first time. It's nice to be
And I
around.
wonder why this is your first time.
I also wonder why you never bring me
This
here.
she will talk about. We'll take it to the Sahinji. And next to I have Emma. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me again.
Okay, so we are talking about dating expectations, and my very first question to you girls is, why do we have to have expectations, knowing that there's always a saying that having expectations can be very, very dangerous? Why do we have expectations?
Yeah, my first rhetoric will be, why should we not have expectations? I think that expectations are very good because they guide us in everything that we do. So whether it's a woman wanting to settle with a man, or a man wanting to settle with a woman, or even with your own life. If I'm going to school, I have an expectation. If I want to read my second master's degree, I have expectation that at the end of the 1 year or 2 years, I should come out with this. I should be better. I should have moved from here to here. So having expectations in relationship, it is very important. In fact, I think it is more disastrous if anyone does not have an expectation wanting to go into a relationship. Then you are setting up yourself for doom. From your beginning. You're already setting up yourself for doom. Yes, we may need to be careful what kind of expectation we're setting. How is it guiding us? How are we going through it? At what point do we change what we have set out to do to fit our present situation? But you should have an expectation. Otherwise, don't do anything.
Does Emma, having expectations, especially when we want to date, does it make it difficult for us to find people to date?
That's $1 million question. Yes and no. Like Sakoma said, if you don't set expectations, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I would also add that, and to agree with her, that it's not like I say you shouldn't set expectations, but they have to be realistic. Sometimes what we ladies are looking out for in a man are so imaginative that you may not necessarily find it. It's by a stroke of favor that some people get what they actually dream of. But the question is, if you don't get it exactly like that, does it mean you won't settle? So yes, expectations actually help to also, on the flip side, realistic expectations help you to sift the weeds or the weeds from the chaff. I mean, everybody's not for you. Everybody will desire you, doesn't need your value. So when you get to date on dating game, obviously you get to know each other, you're discussing, and then that is where you get to know what you people want to talk about, what you expect, what you like, and understanding that, listen, expectations should be based on common ground, commonality. I always say that because you only find yourself with somebody who shares the same values with you. You may not have the same taste preferences or whatever, but values there. You cannot compromise on that. I like UK, I don't like, I mean, those are different things. But I mean, when it comes to how you live your life, how you treat people, even faith, for example, money, how you treat money, how you even treat when I say people, for example, that will make me appreciate her and not disrespect her. If you value people, you value the person, and even your career. You love yourself. You take care of yourself. Are you so difficult are you hard on yourself when you make mistakes? If you do that, you obviously be hard on somebody else. So the commonality helps you to know whether this person is right for you or not.
And we have always been accused of setting such high standards that men are not able to meet. And they say the clock is ticking. As women, do we have to lower our standards just so we can meet?
No. I once asked someone, and I'm not oblivion to it. Then who sets the clock? That's the first question. Who has set the clock for anyone? We won't come in with all the biological stuff. And for me, when anybody approaches and says, oh, you have a biological clock ticking, it is right. But we have seen people who are 45, we have seen people who are 50, we have seen people who are 60, we have seen people who are 80 years giving birth.
Right.
I can be that person. It does not mean that you are going to throw your weight about so that you're not able to be with a man. But it also does not mean that because you are approaching 40 years, so it means that you need to rush into a relationship.
And unfortunately, though, that is what the society seems to be putting us into.
Exactly.
I'm 25, when I going to get married.
And it is wrong. So you see, I want to go back to what she said. Not every man is for every woman, and vice versa.
Right.
Have your expectation. Let it be realistic. Play in your lane. So we watch a lot of movies. There's this one that I love so much. Old movie, Worlds Apart. A prince comes to marry Edo, who is so poor. Those things are, like you said, 1 in a million. The rich would always play by the rich.
True.
The poor will play by the poor. The middle will play by the middle. Play in your lane. Yes, there are some extremes that may happen, but be realistic about it. Let that standard be high. If it's realistic, if it is in your lane, the right person will come for you.
Right.
Position yourself well. As you say, let's have values. Values that we believe in, values that shape who we are.
Right.
So when I meet him, our values the same.
Yeah.
I have grown to, so I'm Christian, and I don't see myself marrying a non-Christian. Now, so I've grown to love somebody. I really liked him. I mean, before, very before, but he's Muslim. I told him, see, I like you so much. I actually would want to date you. But it's obvious you're Muslim and Christian. I can't do that. So let's maintain it as friendship. And these are things that's part of my expectation. I do like him, but in this instance, I cannot bring down this kind of expectation. Maybe another kind I would. Maybe I wanted a tall person. I found a short one. This kind of expectation I can bring down. So know yourself, know your values, know which ones that are very static, the ones that we can flip and move it around, and you'll be fine.
So, what Ya said brings me to my question of like the way we are brought up, the way we see life, also influence the kind of standards and expectations that we have. Like in a case, so if you are someone who can't cook, for example, and you meet someone who also can't cook, or if you want your partner to be able to cook and they can't cook to save their lives, and here's the case that you love the person, is this something that you can just let go, or you would go in and now start complaining about now she can't cook and he doesn't cook and all those things? And because we see these things happening, people close their eyes to a whole lot of things, they go into the relationship, and now it's a problem.
Yes. I think that if you want something, you need to learn to compromise. You see, your single life shows me how you would become when you start dating, when you're married. It's clear. Marriage only magnifies who you are. So if cooking is a problem, be real with yourself. If cooking is a problem for you, first of all, ask yourself, why don't you like cooking? Be it a man or a woman. What is it about the kitchen you don't like? So if you're dating somebody, you need somebody who also understands that, okay, if you can't cook, there are other alternatives. Are you both agreeing to the fact that if we both can't cook, we're going to get a chef?
Right.
Or are you agreeing that, sometimes there are experiences where you love somebody so much that because of this person, you're willing, there are women who never used to cook. For the sake of the fact that this guy loves a particular kind of dish. The guy doesn't complain, she's not to learn.
Right.
They're like, hey, how you learn it, sweetheart? And I always say that your relationship must be inspiring enough to move you to want to do things to make that person better. I'm not going to pin it to cooking or whatever, but whatever it is that adds beauty to your relationship, by default, if it's inspiring, you do it without anybody moving you to do it. So, and people who are married will tell you that there are certain things they were not doing, but for the sake of the love they had for the spouse. I mean, women don't like football, right? But the love of the man, she had to join a Chelsea or a Man U club and so those things are real, and that's why we are both agreeing on realistic expectations here, because you don't have to force things to work.
Right.
A relationship that is premised on shared values, shared minds,
Yeah.
purpose. You don't need to do anything about it. You don't need a counselor to help you about it.
Exactly.
It just works by itself.
Yeah.
But when you say you are struggling, the man is complete. That's where selfishness comes in. So the question is, are you sure you're really in love? You might not be in love on a dating stage, but are you sure you really like this person enough
like
for you to want to continue? Because like must go to
right,
love.
right.
But if you're on a stage of like, and every time I go say, I don't go to party, I go say I don't like your long nails, I don't like artificial hair, I don't like artificial. Already, the person is telling you
Yeah,
that he doesn't like you for who you are.
right.
At that point, please be realistic enough to say, like she said, I like you, but it looks like you want me to compromise. This compromise will work for me. Anybody that makes you change who you are because of love doesn't really love you. And I always say, this is my belief. If I love you for a reason, I would end up not loving you again. But if I don't love you for a reason, we just connected. No
Yeah.
matter what happens.
The bit about cooking, I think is a dicey thing. So often we want to situate that situation of, so the woman cooks and
Yeah.
cleans the house, the
The
man
role
provides,
playing.
out of our society. But we kid ourselves along the line. We are in a certain society, and in our society, there's that gender role that is very it's so strong.
Very.
In as much as we try to fight it and all that, it is still strong. So you get a probably I'm not trying to be tribalistic, but maybe a typical Akan man.
Yes. Yes.
He wants that.
Right.
He loves that. That makes him feel manly.
Yeah.
But the problem also is they try to find somebody who does not know how to cook. If I don't know how to cook and I do not want to cook, if you want to stay with me, then know that I do not love to cook.
Right.
I would probably want to go and cook someday. I don't want to wake up every day and cook.
Right.
If you make a decision to stay with me,
Right.
do not afterwards start complaining.
Exactly.
Because
That's
in as
true.
much as love is a feeling, it is a decision as well.
Mhm.
And the decision, most of the times, it outweighs what we
The
feel.
feeling.
Because at certain points, it's as the feeling does not even come to play.
Right.
There's a decision of what we are doing.
Mm.
So find a woman who would cook for you. Besides all the other things that she'll do for you. So if you're expecting that, then it is also right for the woman to expect that if a man walks into my life and we should settle, you have a financial obligation,
Mhm.
regardless whether I'm working or not.
Right.
Because you can't expect one thing for me to do and think that you cannot expect me to have expectation of what
Right.
you should do for me. So these are things that we see, we try to ignore, and then later on we want to find problems with it. And the disheartening part is all the problem then comes back to the woman. It becomes a woman's issue.
It does.
It becomes a woman to double up.
It does.
What happened to men doubling up? Everybody needs to double up.
It does. Do you think though that our past experiences also influence the kind of standards and expectations that we have of the people that we want to date?
Yes. I could say it does.
Yeah.
It does. It does. And before we go on, so there's this very good from a barrister. I said to the topic, she's a clinical psychologist, and for some time she's known the things I've been through and all that. And it does, because you see, when you have expectation to a point and you are in this kind of society that, like we are all saying, that feels that the woman especially should not have expectation, but you have expectation. And sometimes things are not going as it should.
Mm.
Without you thinking that, like she was saying, it is the expectation that is taking the wheat from the chaff.
Right.
So the chaff are gone. You are not as yet getting the wheat, but you feel, oh, maybe my expectations are too high. That's why this is happening.
Mhm, mhm.
And then you lower it a bit, and you get the word I wanted to say. I can't say it because it's on the screen.
Say, please. Yeah, it's unscripted. Please say it.
It's unscripted.
Say it, please.
You get crap. No, it's better. No, that's what was in my head.
The radio self got the best.
Yes.
Yes, the radio self always gets the best of me. Then you get crap. Then you wake up. I'm like, no, I'm not coming down on some values anymore. Like she's saying, I want to stay in Tama. I want to stay in Accra. Those things we can always bypass it. But when you need to get to reduce it because your experience meant that you showed, honestly, for where I've gotten now, I don't think that if expectations are realistic, you should. Otherwise, you end up putting the chaff back on the boot.
Let me ask you guys something. Emma, you said something about if you have to change yourself for someone. And it brings me back to this monogamy and polygamy and polyamorous kind of relationships that we have. So if you know yourself that you are polygamous and you meet someone who is monogamous and you know that you cannot be monogamous, why don't people tell people the truth but rather present something else? They present something like I can be monogamous. Meanwhile, they cannot be. And the moment you try to tell them that, look, I'm not okay with you having multiple women, they say that you want to change them from who they are. And I'm asking this from what you said, because nobody can change anybody. But I also think people should come to the relationship table with clean hands.
Yes.
Why do you think people find it so difficult to tell the truth that, look, I cannot be monogamous with you?
In fact, you see, this is where if it was a marriage, if these people were married, for example, if you did a civil wedding, you obviously cannot be polygamous. So I would say that before you got married, so what is the state of the marriage? Is it the customary marriage? If you do customary wedding, you should be, it's implied that the person can marry again. So that's why we usually try to advise women that, listen, when you do the customary with your family, you do the civil, that shows that, listen, you're not going to have any other party to fight with legally. Now, but beyond that, if it ever comes to the deception level, where even after the civil wedding, they rather do the so what happens is that they do the traditional, they can't do civil again. You understand? If that happens, that's fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's regarded as fraud because you told me you were monogamous. Now we've gotten married and you are polygamous. Same thing as a man telling me he's fertile and when we get married you're not fertile. Meaning, so at that point, it's not about the person being himself. He didn't give me the chance to make an informed decision.
Right.
That is deceit.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when I say be yourself, as in being your best self, your good self, your ethical self, letting people be the best people they can be. But when you, of course, if the person was a liar, I can't accept you for being a liar because you're not helping yourself. We were speaking about it in the context of you being healthy in your mind, in your psyche, in your thoughts and your beliefs. Anybody that tries to brainwash you or what's it called? This is what gaslight you, for example, and think that you are trying to make me who I'm not, and you say you're a good woman. Is that how people love? That is gaslighting. Right. Don't let anybody deceive you. Walk away. At the end of the day, two cannot work together except if they agree. So please let nobody deceive you when it comes to that level. Yeah.
But of course, it's I think it's selfish to begin with. And it is an implied selfishness. So there was this story that went wrong. I don't know if it's a Nigerian actor that was with a wife. She got pregnant. Later found that it wasn't his child. They said he didn't ask. So that was a funny one.
Interesting.
Yes, but that is the situation we find ourselves. So you are with a man, you date a man, and the relationship gets into marriage. Like you're saying, the man in his mind is polygamous. The woman is monogamous. Nobody talks about it. We think that is a monogamous relationship. So, and we have a society where I think, oh, marriage is for the woman. The wedding is for the woman. So the man allows everything to happen. Now he's in the marriage, then he has side girls and side issues and all that. Then when you come fighting it, you want to change me. So I think that moving forward, we should talk about it. Are you polygamous? I was arguing with someone yesterday on this, that don't go into a monogamous marriage, be polygamous, and have issues. Make people have issues. You want to be polygamous, let us stay at the customary marriage. That is a potentially polygamous marriage. Right. You have a choice to be in a polygamous marriage, maybe a polyandrous, but that's not popular here, or be in a monogamous marriage. So don't come for me, I want to be in a monogamous marriage. You want to be in polygamous. And then we get into it. You actually even allow the civil one or the church one to happen. You have a side check, I have an issue with it. And you flare up. That is deceit. but we have both not spoken about it, so we can't hand this it on anybody.
Right.
But it's selfish.
Yeah.
And you see, humans as we are, male or female, are selfish by nature. So when we don't speak about stuff, when we don't talk about it, when we don't set ground rules, everybody takes their selfish parts and maximize it. And that's
You know what she said is so true. And then I've heard stories where the man actually has deceived her by changing to be who he's not just to get her. You see,
That's what they do.
that is what they do a
That's
lot,
what
and
they
many
do.
women are caught in that situation.
Right.
You hear stories, so it means that a lot of women have to be very careful. Even some men too have fallen into certain traps where
Yeah,
they thought the one was an angel. The
Mm.
man, it's popular with the men that import women from their African countries abroad.
Right.
The woman comes and she shows him, and it makes him lose his life.
Right.
It's very important that as you're setting expectations, you are also studying people.
Mm.
You're getting to know what you're saying, getting to understand. If 5 people say the same thing about Akosia, it is true.
Right.
But then you sit down there, you're so in love, or you're so in like whatever, and you don't even get to do your background check. See,
Right.
expectations without investigations, I mean, those things will help you a lot. So the guy has told you, I live at Villaggio, and you're even a rich man. Are you sure he's not the cleaner of the house or the driver?
Yeah, you don't
You don't
you don't
check.
show up, you don't check,
You know, so these are reasons why and trust me, there are some people who are so 100% perfect. You never know. There are people who are actually dating married men, they don't know he's
They
married.
don't know.
Mm, yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
it's crazy.
That's
Especially
true.
if those married people have spouses abroad, you will never know. And if those people have friends who are good at complying with what he says,
Yeah.
and family members who are wicked enough to allow you go through that
Right.
because they don't like their wife over there, but they
Right.
want an African woman, but they also know that you won't like it, so they deceive you.
Right.
You know, so it's very important that as you are setting standards, people are monitoring you.
Mm.
This is why narcissists succeed.
Yeah.
Narcissists are very well interested in women who are level-headed,
Mhm.
who are very. You think they want a weak people? No,
No.
they want a strong women. Then they come in as perfect gentlemen, men who don't make mistakes, men who know what you want. Before you've said you want something, they know.
Right.
You know, they are so perfect. You're like, oh my! And when it's too good to be true, you need to be careful.
Right.
We're not saying that nobody can be decent, but then nobody is that careful like
Right.
that. You understand me? So you need to be very not to, and even when you set expectations, don't be so verbose about it.
Mhm.
That's another issue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I can't marry a poor man. Never.
No.
Hey, people are watching. There are people who want to show you that. Hey, so you need to
Yeah,
be calm
that's
about
right.
it, and just let it be your measuring yard in your heart.
Right.
If you're a Christian, if you believe in God, ask God to guide you according to that. Help me to find I believe in purpose partners, not just life partners.
Mm.
People who we share the same purpose, and like she said, you can't love all they feel the love. It's decisions.
Right.
And when your purpose is what keeps you together, like Siamese twins, they said they cut you off. That is what keeps you guys together.
Yeah.
So these are things you need to think about as
Right.
well.
That's true.
Well, since we are talking about dating, at what point would a woman tell herself, okay, I'm ready to date? And these days, I'm hearing about multiple dating. Can anyone throw some light on this for me? Like, this
So
multiple
when you say
dating.
dating, are we with the
Exclusive.
Ghanaian context of dating
I
or
like
the
that.
word
Just
dating in
going out
itself?
of-
Please.
So-
Since we are Ghanaians.
So exclusive dates, like one person.
Yes. But that is something, it looks
Because
like
the
now,
word dating is multiple actually. The word dating is multiple. So when you're dating, you are asking questions, you're checking the person up, you're getting to find out the person. And you should let the person know. So if I'm dating Kofi, I should let Kofi know that Kofi, there are 4 other guys I'm dating.
Oh, Lord.
You are part of it.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. So I am throwing it out there. So you are all fighting, or
For-
we are checking. Yes, you're all fighting for me, and you need to also tell me that. Oh yeah, I'm dating 6 other girls, and we are all fighting for you. So the survival of the fittest kind of a
Oh,
thing.
Lord.
But we hide the fact that we are dating all these people.
Mm.
Now, what is exclusive dating? I think that at what point is individualistic? You should be mentally ready for it. You should be financially ready for it. And this is the part where a lot of women downplay. You should be financially ready for it. Maybe you don't have $1 million sitting in your account, but also you you should be stable, because there are petty things you should be able to get for yourself. That gives you some leverage, so the man or your partner does not just take you for granted.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
money is very important. At church, I tell people, You can decide to be a poor Christian. It's exactly we want to go, we would all go. Me, I am not part. And the Bible says that money, it is very good.
Right.
It answers all things.
Exactly.
If there's the love of it, therefore, that is the root of all evil. That is so money is very essential. You need to be economically ready for it. You need to be emotionally ready for it, being emotionally intelligent. So it is very individualistic because we all mature differently. I mean, there can be a 40-year-old who's not ready for a relationship because she's not matured enough to warm herself into it. So it's and even you should be able to even position your friends, your career in a place where you can allow somebody coming. Otherwise, honestly, you're not ready to have somebody.
I'd like to add to what she just said. You see, when you're dating, if we're doing the dating game that is Ghanaian, it means that you told the person, it is you I want, and I want us to start something from the beginning. So nothing too serious, but I'm committing myself to knowing you and you knowing me and seeing whether this dating will move to courtship.
Right.
So if you're doing exclusive, there's an agreement. It's not imagined. You understand? There's some women think they're dating, but they're on their own. So and the men likewise. So when it's exclusive, this person you take out, you set your territory. She's my girlfriend. He's my boyfriend. That is it. That is even what the dating. Because as a boyfriend, you're not courting. It's when you're courting your fiancé and fiancé, but you're dating is my boyfriend, girlfriend. But when you are doing the multiple dating of a sort, you see, you don't give a commitment.
Right.
You're friends. I can decide to go on a date with Kobe today, go with Jay tomorrow, but we are friends. If I have so many male friends, I'm not I've not told anyone I'm checking you out, but that's how you will find your spouse sometimes. You're just being friends. You go, hey Charlie, let's go to the movies today, tomorrow. But nobody can say it's my boyfriend.
Okay.
So the same way for a man, when a man is having female friends that he can take out, he hasn't told her that, listen, you're my girlfriend, we're friends.
Right.
I can call you today, hey, and the way they even talk, they're very platonic, if I can use that word. More platonic than exclusive, where you're more intimate. What are you eating today? What are you wearing? When you are not exclusive, you start asking those questions. You are looking for trouble.
If you're multi-dating,
you don't commit like that.
Do you have sex?
No.
You see, you're not supposed to. However, if you should, don't hold it against anybody.
Thank you very much.
That was
I like
for
that
me.
point.
Let the man or the woman open their mouth and say that we are in an exclusive relationship. Because you get intimate. You do all of it. And often it's on the woman's side.
Yeah,
in the mind is on his mind. You are one of them.
Having fun. So honestly, Akosia, it is the understanding and the disclosure of the intention. Please, if you are not ready to commit, don't tell them I'm dating F1, I'm dating Ama. You know the impression that they think you're not serious. As a woman, when I know a man is not just seeing me, I have a problem with that, because it means that I don't need to commit my time to you. Right. So you can't call, oh, you want to go out today? I can say no. I don't get upset. But if it's exclusive, I know that I have to make time for you. So we need to be careful when we're talking about dating. So if you're saying dating where you are starting a relationship to get somewhere, then exclusively let the person know, and then have your boundaries set, understand what you both agree on, what are the things that will make it work, what are we willing to do to make this work, to grow, and also understand that dating doesn't always lead to marriage. You always get to a point where you've dated and something happens. I'm relocating to Afghanistan and I am here I'm here working at the Ministry of Information. One has to leave. Are you ready to leave your career? You know, these things will happen, but I mean, you should be bold enough to choose what is important to you when that happens.
Oh well, it's been good, hasn't it?
It has.
It has been fun. I wish we continue. It's so interesting.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I mean, this has been good. I've learned a thing or two about multi-dating. Those of you who haven't sex here in Nigeria, just because you're dating.
Yeah, friends with benefits.
Okay, so this is where we bring down the curtain on Love and Love Unscripted. I did this with Yas, Apoma, and Emma. We'll come your way another time. My name is Akosia Konedos. Bye-bye.
This program was proudly supported by Vena Mineral Water, Mini Cakes by Ann Menzo, Just Wine 233, I Meet Phones, Electronic Store, and Make Fashionable as this looks AK's Beauty Bar, and Type 1 Imagery.